Do you remember asking to see that when you were about 8 years old?
How old were they?
I think she was 18, and he was 17.
I honestly had no idea that this many people were wanting to adopt.
She was pregnant when she graduated, and then the decision to place you for adoption.
God, if you're there, please protect him and watch over him.
But she loved you, and I'm so glad that she made the choice that she did.
So this is an amazing story about adoption and tells it in kind of a different way because it's his story and his kind of acceptance of being adopted and being thankful for it. Can you kind of talk about how you even heard about the story?
So this incredible story based on a real life story coming out in September, we're calling LifeMark. And it's actually based on a short documentary film that somebody sent me. And that documentary is called I Lived on Parker Avenue. And it's the story of an 18-year-old girl who finds herself pregnant. She and her boyfriend go down to the abortion clinic. And on the way in, she hears something, a voice from one of the people that are standing outside the clinic saying something like, please let us talk with you. Your baby has 10 fingers and 10 toes. And she goes inside the clinic, and at the last minute, she stops the procedure and leaves. And she carries her baby to full term, places her child for adoption, and never tells her parents or anyone. 19 years later, she's married to someone else, and then gets a message that her son wants to reach out and meet with her. And she thinks he probably hates her for abandoning him. And he wants to meet her to say, thank you for giving me life. And the movie follows both of their journeys. And then David discovers this mystery about his past and his beginnings that just bring everything full circle for both of them. So it's a very moving film. It's an emotional roller coaster ride. It's at least a 3 Kleenex movie. And it's got action and adventure and heart and humor, just like the other Kendrick movies. And I'm so excited because not only did I get to make it with them, but I got to play the adoptive father in the movie, which is really close to my heart because I am an adoptive father. I've got 4 adopted kids, and my wife is an adopted child. So this subject at this moment in the history of our country is super important to me.
What a wonderful time to bring this out. I mean, because it's a parable really, and Jesus told us to speak in parable, and it's a testimony too. And so it's the story that really can pull at people's heart and done in a drama format to kind of pull at people and tell like this different perspective on what could happen if you choose life. And so can you talk about kind of this time, why it's so important during this time period?
Oh, we couldn't have timed this any more perfectly. I mean, just the subject matter coming out at a time where people are so angry and divisive and just spitting mad at one another over this political issue. This is a story that is not about pro-abortion or pro-politics. This is a story that is about what happens if someone out of their own free will chooses life for their child rather than terminating that pregnancy. And this is what actually happened. We didn't make it up. We didn't write it. We couldn't have written a script this great. And the timing with the overturning of Roe v. Wade is just perfect. So I think we're going to get to heaven one day and find out that God just stepped in as our ninja PR person and marketing firm, because it just seems like he's opened the windows of heaven and pouring out his grace in terms of the timing of LifeMark.
And it gives people hope, right? It gives them an option of hope. Like it's going to be okay. And some people have very positive experiences from the adoption process. And
like me.
Yeah. And did any of your adopted children get to be on set and get to experience kind of everything going on?
It was a pretty fast and furious film shoot. So my family wasn't there. However, my kids and my wife have so many heartstrings attached to the storyline of this film and the subject matter, because not only were they adopted, but 2 of my children have actually reached out and contacted their biological mothers and become familiar with the background of their own story. And they're amazing. There's so many moments where it's obvious that God has woven their story together in such a beautiful way that I know this movie is going to impact them pretty greatly, as well as millions of people around the country who have either had been touched by the subject of abortion or adoption. If you've been adopted, if you have adopted a child, if you're thinking of adopting a child, or if you support those who help women who are in unplanned and difficult pregnancies, you're going to love this movie because it's pro-family, pro-love, pro-forgiveness, pro-reconciliation, pro-life, pro-parenting, and it's just beautiful.
And this is kind of like the Christian multiverse coming together. You and the Kendrick Brothers. How was
That's right. Wait till the Babylon Bee article comes out. I'm sure it'll be hilarious.
So how is that working with them again?
It's great. So Stephen Kendrick and I last worked together on a film, and that was Fireproof. So that was back in 2007, 2008. So here we are. What is that? Maybe 15 years later. And I am just as excited, if not more excited, about LifeMark, because Alex and I get to work on the film together as executive producers. And we also get to have scenes together as actors in the movie. So I play the adoptive father. Alex plays the husband of the young man's biological mother. So that would be like his stepdad. And it was just great. We had fun. We playing tricks and jokes on each other, just like we did in Fireproof. and here we are 15 years later with another grand slam, home run movie that's going to make you laugh, going to make you cry, lots of action. We've got high school wrestling, ATV riding, cliff jumping, skydiving, and axe throwing for the guys to keep them interested. So it's not just girls that are going to be crying over the mommy heartstrings that are going to be tugged. It's got something for everybody.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to tell our audience about it? It's coming out September.
Yeah. So LifeMark is going to be in movie theaters September 9th, all across the country. We're in already 1,500 theaters, which is amazing. We're blown away by this, all of the support. And you can find out more about it and get your tickets reserved early if you go to lifemarkmovie.com. That's lifemarkmovie.com.
She wants to meet.
Really?
Yeah.
This is huge!
Hey, what's up, Emily? How's it going?
That's Elizabeth.